Hi guys. All right, so I put in the playlist. It's titled "The Imitation of Christ" by Thomas Kempis, audio reading. So what I'd like to do with this book, and I've already done one short video because the chapters are really short. They're basically reflections. I don't want to really comment on it. Thomas puts everything beautifully. I don't feel that there's anything to add. This should be a reflection. This should, when you hear these passages, it should be you looking in the mirror. It should only apply to yourself. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to get started. You're free to chat as you wish, but ideally this should be really a moment with the Lord, and you should be opening up your heart because it's quite simple. You need a broken and humble heart. And when you're honest with yourself and your shortcomings, all you have to do is, with a regular prayer practice, offer up all of your brokenness to God and ask for his mercy and his grace. And with consistent practice in Bible readings, but if you're just strictly doing Bible readings and not a very intense prayer life, you might have a lot of knowledge in your brain, but you might not be progressing with your heart. And that's why my channel has changed up a bit. And I really do want to focus on the heart of the matter, because just recently applying certain Orthodox practices has helped me tremendously. And like I usually do on this channel, what I come to realize and what I learn and where I am in my walk with Christ, I want to share with people. So let's get started. Sorry if I stutter or I'm getting new at reading. You can read it fine when you're alone, and then it's like you go online and you're like, bup, bup, bup. So let me find the place here. So check out the playlist. I already did chapter 1. When I'm finished the book, what could be very interesting is rereading it one chapter at a time, but doing a live stream where people can discuss and I can have people on. So we can start just with the simplicity of what Thomas is saying. And then after, I can redo another series where I overtalk like usual. So let's get into the reading. Share screen. Darla, call me if ever there's an audio issue. Reading will commence shortly. If you don't mind me just taking another moment, I always like to put the live stream up in case I make a mistake with the share screen or something. Should have did this before. Right, almost there. There we go. I can see the screen. Perfect. All right. So these videos as well, the minute I'm done, I'm not even saying hi. I'm being antisocial. It's because I just really want it to be an audiobook. I don't want it to be me, chatting with everybody. I'll do those sorts of live streams like I've usually done, but this format is true. I'm trying to just get to the reading and move on. Okay, so let me get started. Get comfy here. So chapter 2, that we must have a humble opinion of self. Every man naturally desires knowledge, but what is the use of learning if we have not the fear of God? Certainly, a humble countryman who serves God is worthier than a proud philosopher who studies the motions of the stars but neglects his soul. The man who really knows himself has a low opinion of his merit and takes no pleasure in the praise of men. If I knew all things that are known on earth, but had no love for God, what would all avail me in his sight? Who will judge me according to my deeds? Do not let yourself be troubled by too keen a desire of knowledge, for it is a source of much distraction and many, many errors. The learned are generally anxious to display their talents and to be talked about as wise men. There are many things from the knowledge of which the soul gains little or no good. And he is very foolish who devotes himself more earnestly to indifferent things than to those which are helpful to his salvation. Long discourses cannot satisfy the soul, but holiness of life and long discourses cannot satisfy the soul, but holiness of life brings peace of mind, and a pure conscience causes great trust in God. The more you know, and the more cultivated you are, so much more severely will you be condemned unless your life has been the holier. Beware then of being proud of any art or science, fear rather on account of the knowledge that is given you. If it seems to you that you know a great deal and understand it well enough, remember that there is a great deal more that you don't know. Be not high-minded, proud, but rather confess your ignorance. Why do you want to push yourself before others when so many may be found more learned than you and better versed in the law of God? If you wish to learn something to the purpose, love to be unknown and to be thought of no account. This is a very profound and profitable lesson. This true knowledge and contempt of ourselves, to think little of our own worth and always well and generously of others, is the wisest and most perfect course. Even if you should see another commit some sin openly, or even perpetrate a grievous crime, you must not think to yourself, even if you see someone perpetrate a grievous crime, you must not think yourself any better. You do not know how long you yourself will be able to remain steadfast in good. We are all weak, but you must believe that no one is weaker than yourself. Chapter 3, on the study of truth. Happy is he whom truth teaches by direct communication, not by obscure parables, not by words which pass as soon as uttered, but as it is in itself. Our opinions and feelings also often deceive us and narrow our view. What profit can we get from all our disputes about hidden and obscure matters? Certainly, we shall not be blamed at the judgment for being ignorant of them. O height of folly! Not only do we neglect what is good and necessary, but we must needs devote ourselves to idle pursuits most hurtful to our souls. Having eyes, we do not see. And how are we concerned in the distinctions of logic in genus and species. He whom the eternal word teaches is delivered from a multitude of opinions. From the one word all things sprang, and of the one word all things tell. And this is that, beginning, who also speaks with us. Without him, no one can understand or judge right. But the man in whose eyes all things are one, who traces all things to one, and sees all in one, he can be steadfast in his affections and remain always at rest in God. O God, who art truth itself, make me one with thee in everlasting love. I am often weary of all these things I read and hear. In thee is all I wish for and desire. Let all learned men hold their peace. Let all the created universe be silent in thy presence. Speak to me, and thou alone. The more a man is thus concentrated within himself, and the more he is purified of his affections, so much more easily will he understand even the profoundest matters, because he then receives the gift of understanding from above. A pure, simple, and steadfast spirit is recollected even in the midst of many tasks, because it does everything for the glory of God and strives to be free from all self-seeking. Whence are you more hindered and troubled than by the unchecked desires of the heart? A good and earnest man first settles within himself I'll just repeat it. A good and earnest man first settles within himself all that he has to do, and so his business does not lead him into vicious desires, but all his works are ordered and according to reason. Who has a harder fight than he who is struggling to conquer self? And this must be our task, to conquer self, to become more courageous every day, and to advance towards a holier life. All perfection in this world has some taint of imperfection cleaving to it. And all our pursuits of truth leave us still in some obscurity. A humble knowledge of oneself leads more certainly to God than deep researches into human learning. Not that science is to be blamed, or any ordinary knowledge of things. On the contrary, consider in itself this is good and ordained by God. But a pure conscience and a holy life are always to be preferred. But there are many who devote themselves to learning with more earnestness than to virtue. And these often wander from the right and bring forth little or no fruit. Oh, if only men showed as much diligence in ridding themselves of vices and acquiring virtue as in proposing subtle questions for discussion. There would not be so much scandal and wickedness among the people, nor so much laxity in religious houses. Certainly, when the day of judgment comes, we shall not be asked what we have read, but what we have done. Not how elegantly we have spoken, but how piously we have lived. Tell me, where are now those professors or masters whom you knew so well when they were still alive, and honored for their learning. Already others hold their position and perhaps never think of them. While they were alive, they seemed of great importance, and now no one speaks of them. Oh, how quickly the glory of this world passes away. Would that their holiness had equaled their learning. Then they would have studied and read to some purpose. How many in this our age perish through useless learning, who care not at all about the service of God, and because they choose rather to be great than lowly, therefore they are lost amid their idle dreams. He is truly great who has charity, who is little in it. Person is great that has charity, and who in their own eyes they see themselves as being little, and cares nothing for the highest honors of the world. He is truly thrifty who counts all earthly goods as dross, garbage basically, so that he may gain Christ. And he is truly learned who has learned to do the will of God and to give up his own. Chapter 4. On prudence in our actions. We must not put faith in every word we hear or follow all our impulses, but should cautiously and calmly weigh the matter in the sight of God. Prayer. So imperfect, alas, we are, that we are often more inclined to believe and to report evil of others than good. But perfect men do not too easily believe every blabber, for they know the weakness of human nature, so prone to evil, and especially so apt to sin in speech. It is wiser not to be too hasty in what we have to do, nor to obstinate in standing to our own opinions. In the same way, we ought not to be ready to believe the stories of every talebearer, nor immediately to tell others everything that we have heard or fancied. Often take the advice of a prudent and conscientious man, and prefer to be instructed by a wise mind rather than to follow your own ideas. For a good life makes a man wise and able to guide you in many things according to the will of God. The more humble a man is in himself and submissive to God, the more prudent and dispassionate will his judgments be in all affairs. The end. God bless you all, and I'll see you at the next reading. Read your Bible and pray.